Let's talk Tobago, our people, our places, our challenges and achievements, our needs and aspirations. Join us as we continue our journey into the future.
Hello and thank you for joining us on Let's Talk Tobago, where we keep you informed about the plans and initiatives of the Tobago House of Assembly and the impact that these have on you. In our stories this week, celebrating 25 years, Tobago gets ready to host the annual Tobago Heritage Festival. Just in time for rainy season, Division of Settlements come to the rescue of homeowners. No political process and no PNM document. Members of the Working Committee for Constitution Reform and the THA Act speak out. And fishermen can now stay in the loop while out at sea, thanks to new communication device. You can now send us your comments to information@tha.gov.tt or visit us at www.tha.gov.tt. Please see the bottom of your screen for more contact details. Stay with us. We'll have these and more stories after the break.
Yeah, people. Fisheries fishing tournament will be starting on the 13th and the 14th of June. Here, what kind of prices they have? They have in a Mazda pickup, 2 boats, and other prices. Fellas, we want all you to come out and register now. Look where we start to catch tuna, ocean guard, and dolphin. Come out in your numbers and register now for this fishing tournament.
2012 marks a quarter century of Tobago heritage, and the upcoming celebration will be better than ever. Speaking at a recent media briefing, Secretary of Community Development and Culture, Tracy Davidson Celestine, gave an update on some new plans for this year's festival.
This year's festival, we celebrate the 25th anniversary and we also of the Heritage Festival, and we also celebrate the 50th anniversary of independence. And so this year's theme, yours, mine and ours, to preserve and to protect. Of course, we know that the duration of the festival runs from mid-July to very early August. But because we are celebrating the anniversary of independence and also 25th anniversary of heritage, we will have a month long of activities commencing from 1st July right down to the 1st of August, and that month will be known as Unity Month. And we will start off those activities, those village presentations, with the Bell Garden Ballet Festival.
And there's good news for residents of Delaford as the rainy season starts, with Secretary of Infrastructure Hilton Sandy announcing that a better drainage system is being installed in the village. The community of Delaford is prone to serious flooding and has suffered over the years during periods of heavy rainfall.
As you know, Delaford by the center over the years had flooding problems taking place at the center. And the Assembly, through the Infrastructure Division, took a decision to review the drainage program in that area and came up with plans to construct a very large underground drain at the center. The work to date is about 98% completed, and I'm happy to say that the division, through the Thomas program, would have worked well to reach this stage, or that stage, because, as you know, with the rainy season, we could have had problems again at the center. So with the completion of that drain, is that there will be no more flooding in the Delaford Center compound.
Giving updates on his division at the recent media briefing, Mr. Sandy said his division is working assiduously to resolve the problem of land slippage on the Castara Hills in northeast Tobago.
As you know, we will have identified the problem of the overflowing of the water on the hillsides and bringing down huge landslides in Castara on the main road. The problem here is that we would have tried to get into the area by use of an helicopter, but that did not work for us. We would have tried using workers from the division to walk the terrain to find the slippage. They found the slippage, but getting beyond that was a problem. So what I want to say is that we would have thought we would have had this slippage corrected before the rainy season. Nevertheless, next week they are going to be using another route to get into the forest to find the main water course, because the slippage is from where the water starts coming down. And once they get in there and they could find the roadway to get the equipment up inside, we'll go up and make the correction.
It's the month of May, with the rainy season right around the corner. So these two beaming house owners are welcoming their new windows and repaired roofs, thanks to home improvement grants from the Division of Settlements and Labor.
Today I am feeling so elated. I'm so glad for receiving this check, because I know that it will be of some great use to me. This $10,000 would, of course, help in some other way to put new windows and to continue doing my housing project.
I am feeling great receiving this money today, because it will help me a long way in what I start to do. I started to do my roof because it was leaking a lot, and I decided to go into settlement.
12 checks amounting to more than $100,000 were given out in this tranche of distribution, mandated to provide sustainable, affordable, quality housing for Tobagonians. The Division of Settlements and Labor landed in the Delaford community for the distribution. Accompanying Secretary Godwin Adams were Secretaries Tracy Davidson Celestine and Area Representative Hilton Sandy.
Home is basically where the heart is, not so? And so the Tobago House of Assembly and the Division of Housing and Settlements has recognized the importance of houses in Tobago. They have recognized the importance of having programs to sustain family development. And so in that, they have ensured that there are programs not only from the THA, but also from the Division of Housing and Settlement to foster the development of families.
This is a grant of fund given to you to repair your house. And it's a grant because there's no interest to it, there's no repayment, it's free money given to you by the Tobago House of Assembly under the Division of Settlements to carry out the repairs to your house.
According to Secretary of the Division, Godwin Adams, the division seeks to improve the quality of life for Tobagonians by ensuring good quality housing.
We have been working extremely hard at the Division of Settlements to ensure that we enrich the lives of citizens of Tobago in the form of assistance to renovate or to expand or to complete the structure that you call your very own.
Within the last fiscal year, the Division of Settlements and Labor has issued over 400 checks for home improvement and construction. Not political at all. So says Dr. Prince, chairman of the steering committee, which drafted the THA document dealing with constitution reform and the THA Act.
Absolutely not, because I would not have engaged in a political process, because I want to be known as a neutral technocrat, which I've always been. And this was a process, my involvement in this process has all levels of the involvement. And if you notice, how could it be political for me? My involvement in it pre-1993, that was under the PNM government. When it changed after 1995, I was the sole survivor of that committee. It was now under the NAR government. Now it's under a different dispensation. This is not under a THA element. So you can say that I've crossed the Rubicon through all the political process.
Dr. Prince noted that all political parties on the island came forward and agreed on the direction of the process.
Constitution reform cannot be a political process. If it's going to be a political process, you're going to disfranchise an element of the population. So constitution reform has to be across the board. And I'll tell you why what is the most solid evidence is not a political process. Along the way, when we reached the people, we came to the conclusion in our group that we needed to sit down and talk to the politicians from all sides. I did not even know that there were so many political parties in Tobago. I think we got a grand total of about 8 political parties we sat with. Mr. Jacks, Chief Secretary London, Mr. Davidson, Mr. Murray, and everybody. We sat for 3 meetings and we got inputs from all political sides. So there you have, if you want unimpeachable evidence of the neutrality of that process, therein lies it.
Another member of the steering committee, Carlos Dillon, said that he was pleased to be a part of the process because members from both the ruling party and the opposition were involved.
When I was asked to sit on the working committee, I was told that it was a bipartisan committee of the Tobago House of Assembly that was in charge of setting up the committee. And it was made up of persons from the ruling party and from the opposition. And this was that was the major reason why I gladly accepted the appointment. I wanted also to be known that when we started our work, we ensured that we did what we think is necessary to ensure that the process is above board and apolitical in its whole, in everything that we do.
When asked whether the document is a PNM document, Mr. Dillon clearly stated it is not.
I can say categorically that that is not a PNM bill, because when we put the bill, when we put the documentation together, we did it as a committee, the working committee that was set up by the bipartisan committee of the Tobago House of Assembly. And we were very conscious to keep clear of politics when we did our work. As a matter of fact, when we were going through the villages, sometimes people ask, "What are your views?" And we told them, "Listen, our views are not important in this forum at all. We have come to your community to find out what you wanted to be put into the bill." So we made that very, very clear.
The COVE Eco-Industrial and Business Park is Tobago's first specially designed business and industrial district. COVE forms part of the THA's plan to diversify the economy away from its overdependence on the tourism industry, while still ensuring an environmentally friendly Tobago. The COVE Eco-Industrial and Business Park is Tobago's first specially designed business and industrial district. COVE forms part of the THA's plan to diversify the economy away from its overdependence on the tourism industry, while still ensuring an environmentally friendly Tobago.
The Eco-Industrial Development Company of Tobago Limited, EIDCOT, was established in 2009 by the Tobago House of Assembly as a private limited liability company. Our mandate is to develop, promote and manage all eco-industrial parks on the island in support of the THA's economic diversification initiatives. and it aims at enhancing the levels of innovation, entrepreneurship, and certainly to expand enterprise development on the island. The facilities and the services that we are offering by way of the factory shelves, the incubator service, and shared business center are all in keeping with improving the business environment in Tobago and certainly reclaiming that sense of authority in Tobago's ability to be self-sufficient.
First of all, we have within the COVE Eco-Industrial Business Park an area we call our build development. Our build development has 11 structures on it. In that 11 structures, 6 are factory shells, 2 are business incubator, 1 is an innovation center, 1 is a shared business center, and the last one is an administration complex. These factory shells are catered for the entrepreneurs or the business persons who are looking for a facility to operate a business within, but don't have the ability within their self or their organization to build their own facility. So we're going to provide a complete factory shell where they can move into and set up their organization or their business to develop and move further. We're providing a large working environment for them to work within. Also, we're providing facilities as a shared business center where you'll have, let's say, the mobile office where he can have office services offered to him so that he doesn't have to focus on that. As well, he has offers the facility where we would have the facility of the ramp facility where he can offload or load his products, the case may be, as well as all other amenities within the park, which will facilitate growth and development of our entrepreneur.
The factory shells can be rented up to a maximum of 7 years with a lease rate of $2.68 per square foot. The land is leased up to a maximum of 30 years. Both instances are renewable, and the land is rated at 75 cents per square foot.
The industry that we're catering for is for light industries. For example, it can be a metal shop worker, or let's say a metal fabricator, a wood maker or a carpenter. You can also cater for the small entrepreneurs who are doing processing of light, agro-processing materials, as well as all other small industry type cottage type industries which will need a facility to operate with them. Other than the build development, we have the rest of the park. The total of the park is 140 acres total. The rest of the park will be open for land for lease. Right? These are open for individual entities who have the capacity to build their own facility where they can operate within. Right? These industries are going to have like agro-processors, wet industry processors, also light industry, but on a larger scale. We're going to have an ICT zone also, as well as other industries within that. We're going to have export processing zone where you can process a product for the export market.
Interested persons can obtain tenancy application forms from the COVE office at Gulf City Mall Lowlands or the website at www.e-idcot.co.tt. We take a break.
Yeah, people, Fisheries Fishing Tournament will be starting on the 13th and the 14th of June. Here, what kind of prices they have? They have in a Mazda pickup, 2 boats, and other prices. Fellas, we want all you to come out and register now. Look when we start to catch tuna, ocean guard, and dolphin. Come out in your numbers and register now for this fishing tournament.
Welcome back. They do everything from fixing policy documents to folding letters in a professional manner. Without them, there won't be that linchpin of the modern world called the office. That's why Administrative Professionals Day, which is 60 years old, is one of the largest workplace observances. To commemorate the event this year, administrative professionals in Tobago participated in an On Your Feet group dynamics workshop. Omadara Mills has the highlights.
You all are actually the nerves of your organization, you know. If you all don't function, guess what happens to the organization? The organization ain't functioning at all.
How administrative professionals adapt to the new working environment will determine how important they are in the office. This was a message read by Dr. Ellis Boris on behalf of Chief Secretary Orville London.
As we all grapple with an ever-changing global environment influenced by rapid advances in technology and shifts in norms and cultures. Administrative professionals will be required to adjust and adapt to ensure that they remain efficient and effective in executing their tasks.
Admins, the pulse of the office, was the theme under which administrative professionals participated in a one-day team-building workshop at Magdalena Grand Beach Resort. Admins engaged in activities such as learning how to fold the letters for the 21st century workplace, to identifying grammatical errors in administrative documents. Chief Administrator Dr. Ellis Boris commended the participants for their hard work in private and public sector offices.
I admire your performance over time, and I would always give women a very high commendation with respect to themselves, treating with themselves, the family, husbands, children, and the whole home, and then have to come to work and work as hard as the men will do.
I am Omadara Mills for the Department of Information.
The island of Carriacou wants guidance from Tobago. With a population of just over 6,000 people, Carriacou, a dependency of Grenada, is seeking greater autonomy. Chief Secretary of London recently met with Cosnell McIntosh, member of the interim body for the implementation of internal self-governance for Carriacou and Petite Martinique. In their discussions, Mr. London explained some of the challenges to Mr. McIntosh, who was grateful for the assistance in his country's process of implementing a local government.
We'll try our level best to take what he has offered me to make sure that whatever we implement in Carriacou will be for the benefit of all the people of Carriacou and the Grenada government in particular, because they're the one who has seek to give us this autonomy at this time.
It was very interesting, to see the stage that they're at and to discuss and to share our history and our challenges and our experiences. And I hope that, the discussion this morning has been of benefit. And we have pledged on the part of the Tobago House of Assembly to be prepared to offer any assistance that the people of Carriacou or even the government of Grenada would need as we share our experiences with them and hopefully assist in this very, very challenging but necessary process.
Fishermen will be able to remain in communication while they are out at sea undertaking that most dangerous task in trying to feed the population of Tobago. Secretary of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment, Gary Melville, said this at the handing over of a marine repeater to the Department of Fisheries by TEMA. Omadara Mills reports.
TEMA has supplied fisherfolk in the north and the northeastern end of the island with a $23,000 device which will improve radio communication for fishermen out at sea. TEMA Director Alan Stewart explained some of the benefits of the marine repeater, which will aid in addressing problems such as marine accidents, coastal security, and proper coordination of marine events.
It allows fisher folks to communicate with their loved ones or earth stations. When I say earth station, I'm referring to stations that are shore stations. And also it allows, in the case of an emergency, to know that there is someone that is listening also on the marine band.
With the marine repeater handed over and installed at the Flagstaff repeater station in Charlottesville, fishermen will also receive radios. This was a statement made by the Secretary of Agriculture, Marine Affairs, Marketing and the Environment, Gary Melville.
We certainly would want to work to ensure that this provides the kind of benefits that it can provide. As I say, one of the ways we can do that is to try to assist the fishermen in getting radios.
The marine repeater will be monitored by the CERT unit of TEMA 24/7. Here's what fishermen in Charlottesville said about the installation of the marine repeater, which will be operating on Channel 63.
I think it's long overdue, and all fishermen in Tobago must be equipped at sea.
I think it's a good system because a lot of fishermen went out there and go beyond the reaches and get lost. So that radio, once once they're supplying the fishermen and them with radios and stuff, I think that is a good production every day.
I am Umudara Mills for the Department of Information.
Posters of actors like Robert Downey Jr., Samuel L. Jackson and Reese Witherspoon lined the entrance to Movietown. But as Sophie Guillaume explains, for the students who visited Movietown, these were not the stars they were looking for.
Following its Science and Technology Awareness, Literacy and Open Day, the Tobago Science Center of the Division of Education, Youth Affairs and Sport is bringing to you yet another of its innovations, Astronomy Program 2012.
Though the closest these students came to seeing a creature from space was the figurine of E.T. hanging from the rafters in the Movietown lobby, this did not deter their learning process.
I learned about the study for the other lives, I learned about the radio satellite, and I learned about some of the other moons and planets it have. It was very interesting, and especially when they was telling me who discovered the telescope and everything like that.
I learned about the radio satellites in the United States around the southeastern division around there. The scientists tried to see if they could find any life form with radio satellites on the other planets.
On a quest for astronomical knowledge, primary and secondary students packed the Movietown Theatre and were given a video introduction to astronomy by amateur astronomer Isa Mohammed.
Astronomy is something that anybody could do simply by going outside and looking up. So in terms of getting involved, it really starts there, and it could be done at any age. All it takes is an interest in astronomy, an interest in looking up at the sky and realizing that there's something big out there.
From the screens at Movietown to the open sky at Fort King George, the students were given a tour of the night sky. Through the telescopes, they got a closer look at Venus and Saturn.
I thought it was amazing, actually. The Saturn looks really cool.
It was beautiful and interesting. I saw 2 planets. One looks like white moon and the other looked slanted with rings.
To see Saturn for the first time off of TV, to see it in real life, it's bright, very bright and very first time experiencing. To see Venus, it just resembles the moon in a kind of way.
Sophie Guillaume, Department of Information.
Surviving 20 years by faith, that was the achievement marked by the Canaan Bonaccord Methodist Church, which recently celebrated its 20th anniversary with an evening of song, dance and speech band. It's the youngest of the 10 Methodist churches in Tobago. Using the theme, We've Come This Far by Faith, members of the Canaan Bonaccord Methodist Church showed that despite being small in number, they will continue to persevere. In an expression of religious solidarity, different denominations sent greetings to mark this important occasion.
I say this evening, continue to trust God and exercise the said faith that took you this far.
In the process of growth in the ministry, 20 years, challenges, hard work, it is not small. So I am here to encouraging you in the work that you are doing.
The journey forward was long and hard. We trust in God, but we didn't give up at all. We trust in God. Brothers and sisters, between me and you, you see what faith in God could do. Beat a drum, Mr. Drummer.
The history of Methodism finds its roots in missionary work. Chief Secretary of London told the Methodists that missionary work is still as important today as it was decades ago, and they must find a way to make a difference in their community.
The missionary work for the church in 2012 is no different from the missionary work which the church took on in the 17th and 18th centuries. You do not have to cross the seas as they did. You do not have to risk death as they did. All you got to do is to cross the road. And I'm saying to you that there's missionary work out there. There's missionary work outside the walls of this church. And therefore, I want you not to forget your heritage. Your heritage is missionary work. And missionary work by extension means getting outside of your comfort zone, getting outside of your space, and finding the spaces where the word of God and your presence would make a difference, and going out there and carrying the word of God and making a difference.
We've come to the end of another episode of Let's Talk Tobago. I am Avian Parks. On behalf of the Tobago House of Assembly and the Department of Information, thank you for viewing and see you next week.